appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I love these meetings when we have our essay contest winners come and present their essays to us. Every year I learn something from these young people, and I love that they've worked so hard and so diligently, and they dig into this stuff, and that's so thrilling. That's exciting. So anyway, we want to open and say thank you to the City of Wilder, like we always do, for allowing us to use this facility. And when I stopped earlier today to pick up the key, they asked us for a favor. They are having their own senior picnic for the City of Wilder. And they asked if we would make an announcement. They said it's for Wilder residents, but nobody's checking IDs. If anybody else wants to come, they can show up, okay? This is the week before the Campbell County Senior Picnic, but it's the 23rd. It's going to be right out here at the park, and it's from 11 to 2, and they're going to have music, vendors, bingo, and prizes, okay? So, and they're calling it Seniors or Wilder. You guys are going to have to live up to that, okay? It's real important, though. There is limited seating out here, so there's an RSVP on there. If you're going to show up, please give them a call and let them know how many you need.
Is there a charge?
0. A free lunch will be served at the Wilder City Center Park. Okay, there are flyers up here on the table. If you're interested for the RSVP and everything, come pick some up, okay? Normally this is when we have the minutes from last month's meeting, but Richard wasn't here last month and nobody took minutes. So just a reminder that we were at the Falcon Theater in Newport, and they gave us a little bit of a history of the building down there, and then, I don't even know what you would call that. It wasn't really a play, but they did a little, yeah, it was interesting. It was a reading of, yeah, it was readings from a,
Ghost.
what would you call it?
Well, it was a reading about what Lincoln would have said.
Yeah.
It
It was good,
It was
but
good.
obviously those that were there remember it, so that's what the minutes are supposed to do, okay? So that worked. Glenn, last month I forgot you, so this month, would you like to do the treasurer's report?
All right, this month we opened with $9,367. Had 2 regular membership renewals, 2 life renewals. Received $135 in donations. For the general fund, $1,000 for the essay contest. Sold $6 worth of copies. And $140 in publication sales. Received $114.89 from the Kroger rewards. So if you don't do Kroger rewards, why, please remember us. We only have 29 families currently out of our membership that are doing the Kroger rewards things for us. So if you haven't committed to the school or whatever, please commit to us. We raised $410 for our Christmas tree fundraiser, so income was $2,144. We had expenses, including the mailing of the newsletter, paper, and we bought replacement checks, paid the copier lease, and we bought flowers for a special person. And our expenses were $632.93, so we closed with $10,879.62.
This donation, David Hosea gave us a copy of the Hosea family history tonight. That's the latest information. Let me look on my phone. I didn't print it out. So,
Richard. And that's not the latest, because after Jan brought that in, Charlie Wimmers brought in something too for us. So the list keeps growing.
yeah, I've got it right here. Just a second. I'm sorry.
tough to find a good secretary these days, you know?
Dr. Stephen Scott had taken over for Dr. Howe in 1983, and Dr. Scott retired recently, and he donated us a bunch of items that came from Dr. Howe's office, like 141 items, so I won't go through every single one of them. Sheena Elverson gave us a spring and summer Army Cadet uniform blouse and a Cadet Nurse Army program. We also received, and this might have been before last month, a 1948 sign from New Calf Thanksgiving, but half of it on plywood. They had a Thanksgiving dinner, so we got half the sign. It's kind of different, but it's, you know, it's in storage now, and that's all the donations we get.
Okay, we have membership-wise 302 members. So we're over 300. Includes our life members, our business sponsors, our tech, and our corporate sponsors. Membership in our organization for anybody that's not a member is only $12 a year. It's not going to break the wallet for you, and you get our newsletter 3 times a year, and all of our meetings, we send out reminders or even make reminder phone calls if you'd like to get phone calls for our meetings. Let us know if you're interested in joining. The newsletter. Everybody that is currently a member should have gotten their September newsletter. No? I'm going to have to check that. If you didn't get the last one either, did you?
No.
I'm going to have to check that.
Yeah.
And I thought I did, but I'll check it again.
Okay.
The next newsletter will be out it'll be the January 2023 issue. So if anybody wants to submit articles, get them to me by the 1st of December. Correspondence, as usual, we get lots of email requests for genealogical lookups and requests and asking for information on families from Campbell County, which we always try to answer. And usually we can find something for everyone who wants to look up their ancestors who lived here. And then today I was going through some email and a website came up. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Sam Terry's Kentucky, a daily blog about Kentucky's rich history. And today, September 8th, in 1775, which was 247 years ago, having spent nearly 6 months clearing a trail through the Cumberland Gap, Daniel Boone and his family, plus a party of 35 axemen, arrived in what would become Fort Boonesboro. And that's not too far down the road from us here. The trail came to be known as the Wilderness Road, steep, narrow, rough passage that could only be traversed on foot or horseback at the beginning. For the next 50 years, the Wilderness Road was the principal route used by settlers moving to Kentucky from the east. The trail was later lengthened using Native American trails to reach the Falls of the Ohio at Louisville. In 1792, the newly created Kentucky General Assembly allocated funds to upgrade the road, and by 1796, it could accommodate wagons and carriages. The Wilderness Road was abandoned around 1840, but many of our modern highways now follow paths of its route. The Cumberland Gap was one of 2 gateways into Kentucky. The other was the Ohio River from up in Pittsburgh all the way to Maysville, which was then called Limestone. There is a painting of Daniel Boone's escorting settlers through the Cumberland Gap, and there are actually 2. I'm going to leave this up here. There's a copy of the painting. 2 different artists did very similar paintings of this event. The William Tyree Ranney painting was likely created in the mid-19th century, decades after the event. The original painting, now fully restored, is hanging in the Duncan Tavern, which is the headquarters of the Kentucky State DAR, and that's in Paris, Kentucky. The other painting was created by George Caleb Bingham, and his painting hangs in the Mildred Kemper Lane Art Museum at Washington University in St. Louis. I just thought that was interesting because it happened 247 years ago today. And you can look up this Sam Terry's Kentucky, and you can get it, his blog every day, something about Kentucky, historical.
Or follow it on Facebook too.
Or Facebook, yeah, well, that might have been where I saw it, on Facebook. So I'll leave this up here. And that's all I have.
Volunteerism. We have a couple of new volunteers, and thank goodness we are adding to the core of people all the time. Debbie Fleckinger has joined us, and she is helping to transcribe the Spears books, and Ken and Janet have really gone out. And how many people do we have now, do you think, signed up to start helping out?
About 6.
We got about 6 people. If you recall, last month, we put the call out, and so we've had about 5 people sign up that want to help out with that. Some of them could not make the steps to get upstairs into our office. 22 steep steps, you know the whole story. So Ken really put the onus on me to find a way to do that. We thought about making copies or photographs of this stuff so that we could let people take it home, and that just wasn't going to work. So what we're going to do is the courtroom downstairs, which is handicapped accessible, we have a key to that, and they don't use it very often. So we're going to set people up in the courtroom downstairs that can't make it up the steps. So we should be able to set up 2 or maybe 3 stations there that people can work to do that. That just pains me when people say, I really want to help, or I really want to visit, I can't get there. So, you know, we found a way around this one. And does the 6 include these 2 nice ladies?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're up to 6 now, and Jeannie Greiser is not, I think she was on vacation. So,
She hasn't come yet.
okay, she'll be coming, so that'll be 7. So we're getting there. I talked to Chaz, who is doing our website. I talked to him this afternoon. I said, Chaz, don't give me a date. He said, I think by Monday I can have the store all set and ready to go, which means the website will be complete then. So we're getting real close on that. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, I think it's well worth looking at now. We've upgraded it, and there's a lot more stuff on there. We just recently had an email from a lady from California, state of, who is coming to this area. Her family's from this area, and she's making a trip back to do some family genealogy, and she wants to come visit us. And she said, in her email, she said, your website is just fantastic. It was easy to navigate, and she really, really liked it. So to me, that makes it worth the money that we spent to do that. So don't count on it being ready for Monday, but coming very, very soon.
What is her family name? She's Jane.
You remember Jan? It's tough to get old. Okay.
I used to write a lady, and she said, I love to get your letters, it's like a letter from home.
Yeah.
Because I always had, something she's looking for.
This woman, she said that she's only been to Kentucky twice. She was born and raised in California, only been here twice, and that was when she was less than 10 years old. And now I think she said she's in her 60s or 70s, so. Well, I don't know where she is in California, but Okay, Mark is being shy tonight, so he told me to let you know that our Christmas tree fundraiser is ongoing right now and starting to go well. We've got about 10 people signed up and promises of, I'm gonna send, that kind of thing. But I think, what's the final date, Mark, for the discounted rate?
15th.
The 15th, by the 15th of this month. After that, you pay the full price. Up until the 15th, it's a $5 discount. So it's $80 before the 15th of this month. And we provide the tree, we provide the lights, we provide the location, and you can come and a sign that goes with it, and you can come and decorate the tree any way you want. And people are doing it typically in memoriam of someone, maybe for a veteran or a loved one that's passed away. Some would do it for a company. There's a number of different reasons that people do it. Some just do it because they want to show off a little bit. But it all goes in the front lawn of the courthouse down in Alexandria. And last year it was quite a show. Mark puts together a lighting ceremony on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and I think you're adding some things to it this year. We're going to have the office open, so it should be a good event, and then they stay open until the first week of January.
Yeah, right there at Tiffany.
Okay. So anyway, it really, if you go down that way at night, it just really shows off that front yard. So if anybody's interested, see Mark, or we've got flyers, or you can go to our website and sign up there. Ken, you want to talk about Grant Slick?
Started doing a history of Grant Slick after I retired as president of this organization. And in the process, I discovered Grant Slick is going to be 225 years old this year. So I talked to a group of people from out there. We decided to have a party of sorts. So we've been working on this for a year, and it's going to take place a week from Saturday, September 17th, all up and down Clay Ridge Road, especially at the Grant Slick Baptist Church. I worked with another fellow, and we did a 20-foot mural on the side of the grocery store down here in recognition of the history. We've got an antique car truck and tractor show going on all day. We have 40 signs put up, or I'm going to put the signs up and down Clay Ridge Road to highlight historic buildings and locations. Historical Society is going to be in the basement of the church with all kind of maps and stuff like collected. The old church and cemetery will be open. My log cabin museum, which I built 42 years ago on my property, will be open that day as well. We talked, the fire department inviting University of Cincinnati Air Care is going to drop in out of the sky behind the church for Thursday afternoon, so kids are going to enjoy that. But bluegrass and gospel music all day long from 10 to 2:30. And at 12 noon, I'm going to do a special tribute to our organization and to our little area there in Grant Slick. And we have several people talking and some singing going on. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have the 1860s or 65 Red Wings. Okay. What year was that? They're an antique baseball team. They don't play with gloves. They wear wool uniforms. They play by rules that were in effect in the 1860s. So we're going to play a game behind the church up there. So we've got stuff going on all day long. I invite you to come up. There's no cost for anything. Please come and join us. It's going to be up and down the entire road. We'll have a wagon pulled by a tractor, and we have people in the wagon talking about the different signs I put up. There's a lot of stuff going on. Please come and join us. Anybody interested, I have flyers today.
A table in the basement of the church. Which church, right? Grant Slick Baptist. Okay, right on Clay Ridge. And we've put together a slideshow that we'll be running, and then we'll have books there, and we'll have I have a scrapbook that was put together from a woman that was a teacher at Grant Slick in the very first year that it opened. And then she also she moved from Grant Slick to Alexandria, but they're pretty close, so I think a lot of Alexandria people will be coming too. But this woman, for many, many years, the little school photos that you get, she cut those out and put them on a scrapbook. So she has the school pictures of a lot of those kids from back then. You may know some of them. They may be parents or what have you, but I'm sure some people are going to find people they know there. So anyway, that's on the 17th, on Saturday the 17th. On the 28th is the Campbell County Senior Picnic down at Pendry Park. We will be there with a booth as well, and we'll have all sorts of goodies and our photo albums and that kind of stuff. If you've never been to the senior picnic, it's a trip. It's a lot of fun, and you get a pretty good lunch down there. So, a couple of news things. Russ is not here tonight, but I don't know if everybody else has heard of the James Taylor Mansion. They've got a buyer for it now. He is going to utilize it as his personal residence, but he's going to open it up to the public periodically through the years for tours and special events and things like that. It's a man I don't know, but apparently he has done a lot of work in Newport, or a number of jobs in Newport, rehabbing buildings. Somebody said he's from California. I don't know. State of California. His name's Dwayne Cronin. Anybody know Dwayne Cronin? I don't know the name, but apparently the people in Newport are very familiar with him and are very pleased with some of the stuff that he's done. I brought this along just as a news piece. Over in the city of Ludlow, they have a historical society over there. They've just worked a deal with the railroad. There is an old storage building. It's the last of the railroad railroad buildings that are existed in Ludlow. And they made a deal with the railroad now, and the historical society is going to take this over and renovate it. They're looking for a $3.5 million project to make this happen, but I'm very happy for them because, well, any organization, any historical society that can do this, but it's looking pretty rough inside there. Okay, so I think they got the job ahead of them, but I'm happy for them being able to do that. This is like 15, 16 pages, so if anybody wants to take a look at it, there's a copy of it up here at the front. If anybody can get to our office, if you have a chance, come up. There is a young lady that is working with us now in our museum area. And so one of the first things she worked on, we did an exhibit for the Alexandria Fair and for the grandmother of Dan Shadler. She is the blue ribbon guru, I guess. She displayed her items there for 50 plus years and has blue ribbons from all of those years. And so the Shadlers had donated to us all those ribbons and the story on him. And so we have that on display now. Amy has redone the exhibit so it shows better. And Dan brought up to us this time, because he comes every year he lives in Atlanta, he comes every year for the fair. This year he brought us a framed poster from the fair from the 1950s, which is really cool looking. I was really pleased. We haven't added it to the exhibit yet, because Richard has to accession it yet, but once we do, that'll be a part of that. Have a note here, October 1st. Everybody forgot about doing stuff all summer. They're crowding it all into September and October. The Newport Art and Music Festival is October 1st from 11 to 4. That is at the Southgate Street Museum on Southgate Street, and right there behind Hofbrauhaus, okay? We just talked about it a little bit earlier. We'll have a booth there as well, okay? And have our photo albums and this, that, and the other. So invite you all to show up for that. that's the end of that list. So with that, I am going to turn this over to Miss, oh, wait a minute, somebody else has something.
Upcoming meetings and our,
After this,
oh, okay, we got your price.
oh, we have a door prize.
Oh, I need one painted, but
I have such responsibility. There you go.
935219.
Oh,
Where?
Linda,
Oh! She gets, one of a kind, there are no others like it.
with that then, I am going to turn it over to Miss Martha Pelfrey and let her take over on the essay contest winners.
well, here we are again. Didn't we just do this? Seems like it does. Well, it's always great. We'll start with the third place junior winner, and it's Nathan Molman. Did I say that right? Okay. His essay was about the trout dairy. So, Nathan, you want to come up and read your essay?
Today we check our porches for Amazon packages, but back in the 1800s and 1900s, most people would check their porches to see if the milkman had brought them milk. Yes, milk. Horse-drawn wagons and later trucks would bring milk and other dairy products like cottage cheese and eggnog to your home. Many porches would have metal insulated boxes where your milkman could leave your milk if you weren't home. Every day you would get dairy products because homes did not have refrigerators, and daily milk delivery was necessary to prevent milk from spoiling before people could drink it. The Lewis Trout Dairy was the last operating milk plant in northern Kentucky, and one of the most loved. Everybody loved this dairy, but few people know the history of the Lewis Trout Dairy. Matthias Trout, the grandfather of Lewis Trout, was born in 1811 in Herxheim, Germany, which was where he lived until he immigrated. Matthias and my family are actually related through our common ancestor, Johannes Trout, my 10 times great-grandfather. Matthias and his 3 brothers, along with their children, immigrated to the United States in 1854. They were among 200,000 immigrants that left Germany that year. Industrialization in Germany at that time meant fewer farmers were needed, and word from previous immigrants about opportunities in the U.S. encouraged immigration. The 4 Trout brothers arrived in New Orleans, Louisiana, where 2 of the brothers decided to settle. Matthias and the other brother traveled up the Mississippi and Ohio rivers to the 10 and 12 Mile Creek area of Campbell County, where they bought and farmed 50 acres at 10 Mile Road and Gunkel Road, now Vineyard Road. Matthias' oldest son, Jacob, eventually bought and farmed 19 acres adjacent to his father's farm. Lewis Trout, Jacob's son, however, did not follow his father and grandfather, and he decided not to be a farmer. Instead, as a young adult, Lewis decided to go to Newport. He married Clara Stephanie and bought a home there at 48 East 11th Street. Lewis and Clara had 4 children: Helen, Lewis Jr., Paul, who died as an infant, and Albert. Lewis worked as a milk delivery man for the Fred Schuerman Dairy. The modern dairy industry emerged in the early 1900s. This happened because of the pasteurization of milk. Pasteurization, which was discovered by Louis Pasteur, heats liquids to high temperatures for short periods of time. This kills bacteria and increases its shelf life, but does not affect its taste or its nutrition. Before pasteurization, bacteria in milk caused tuberculosis, diphtheria, typhoid fever, and streptococcal infections. In January of 1920, Fred Schuerman did not have enough money to pay Lewis for the 2 weeks vacation time that was owed to him. So instead, Fred decided to just give Lewis one of his 2 milk routes. By May 1920, Lewis was able to convert his garage at 48 East 11th Street to process raw milk and bottle the pasteurized milk. A large cooler was built in the garage to hold the milk until it could be delivered. Eventually, in 1925, Lewis purchased an additional plot of land and began building the original dairy plant to replace the garage. The new plant was completed in 1926, and he went from working with 600 square feet to 1,500 square feet. The pasteurized milk was bottled in glass quart jars and then delivered to houses in northern Campbell County. This was the beginning of Lewis Trout Dairy in Campbell County. At Trout Dairy, farmers would bring their raw milk to the dairy in 10-gallon cans. At the dairy, the milk would be weighed on a scale, and the farmer would be paid accordingly for the milk. The raw milk would be stored in the raw milk tank and cooled to below 40 degrees to hold down bacteria until it's ready to be processed. When it was ready to be processed, the raw milk would be pumped over to the pasteurization lab, where it would be batched and processed by heating it to 143 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Then the milk would be cooled in a plate cooler. Gravity would feed the milk to the first floor where it would be bottled. After bottling, the pasteurized milk would be stored in the cooler to be delivered by horse and wagon. As technology improved, the horse and wagon was replaced by trucks in 1930. The glass bottle was replaced by paper cartons in the 1930s. It wouldn't be until the 1960s when the plastic bottles that we are familiar with were used. In addition, in 1952, to increase productivity and efficiency, pasteurization would be done by a technique called HTST, high temperature short time, which required the milk to be heated to 161 degrees Fahrenheit for only 15 seconds. Lewis Trout Dairy was always a family business. By the late 1940s, Lewis and his children had formed a partnership. During the Depression years, and despite competition from 40-plus dairies in northern Kentucky, Trout Dairy was able to survive. According to Steve Trout, grandson of Lewis Trout Sr., their motto was to build the product, put the quality in, and let the public be the judge. His life passion was for Trout Dairy, to be the ultimate #1 dairy in the United States. When Lewis Sr. retired in 1951 to take care of his wife, his sons Lewis Jr. and Albert took over the business. In 1956, Lewis Sr., Lewis Jr., and Albert formed a corporation for tax purposes, and Lewis and Albert bought out their father in the mid-1970s. Third generation, the grandsons of Lewis Sr., began to build the business and increased production and expansion. In 1981, the grandsons bought out their parents. Besides milk, which was always the mainstay product, other milk byproducts like cottage cheese, chocolate milk, cream, sour cream, eggnog, and ice cream were also manufactured at Trout Dairy. In 1968, the Trout Dairy acquired the Nicer Ice Cream Company. In 1972, a 1,500 square foot freezer was added. The plant was enlarged 9,000 plus square feet. In 1977, with the addition of a milk cooler and cottage cheese room, the 1980s brought many expansions, including the filling room, blow mold room, lab, ice cream freezer, and office building. A huge $12 million expansion took place in the early 1990s, which enlarged the milk cooler to 24,000 square feet, making it the largest milk cooler in Kentucky at that time. In 1992, it was the first dairy in the country to have an all stainless steel cooler. In March 1998, the Suiza Food Corporation of Dallas, Texas purchased the dairy. Suiza then merged with Legacy Dean Foods in December 2001, and the company assumed the Dean Food name but continued to produce products under the Trout Dairy name. In August 2011, the plant in Campbell County was closed, and just a few products kept the Trout name for a short time until it was replaced by the Ryder label. Trout Dairy has always been recognized as a leader in the dairy field. It was one of the very first dairies to vacuum pasteurized milk, add tamper-evident packaging, and introduce acidophilus milk over the years. It has received numerous awards, including the Dairy of the Year in 2003. In addition, it was named Grand Champion in 2005 and 2006 at the World Dairy Expo in Wisconsin. Trout Dairy's eggnog and sour cream has also been named Cincinnati's Best by Cincinnati Magazine. This local dairy business on 11th Street in Newport, Kentucky began humbly in 1920 when Lewis and Clara Trout received a milk route from Fred Schuerman Dairy. That one milk route would eventually grow into a corporation that included 3 generations of the Trout family. Over these three generations, Trout Dairy became the dairy we all knew and loved, and a business that Campbell Countyans will cherish in their hearts forever.
We do have a bit of a special guest here tonight, representing the Trouth family. Since it is a family business, is Mr. Steve Trouth here, that was mentioned in Nathan's.
Come on, get up there. Get up there. Come on.
Great. And you did a wonderful job. Yes, wasn't that good? Okay. There's a line in a song, every time I hear it, I think someday there'll be people saying, what are they talking about? I think it's something like "Good Night, Sweetheart, the milkman's on his way." That'll scare all the little kids. Anyway, nice job. So we have a $25 gift card. This is a check. That much.
For you.
Yes,
Thank
it
you very
is.
much.
Good job, Nathan.
I tell you, these kids get better every year. And they're not shy about showing you what they know. That's what they do. So, thank you. All righty. Is Evan Hart here?
No.
We have no Hart. Okay. So our first place junior winner is Anna Kurtzinger, and it's about the Newport Peace Bell. And that's something we know a little bit about because we were here when they come up with the idea.
Engraved on the front of the World Peace Bell, located in the heart of Newport, Kentucky, are the words, "The World Peace Bell is a symbol of freedom and peace, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and inspiring our future." The Newport World Peace Bell is one in 22 replica peace bells around the world. It is 66,000 pounds, and until 2006, was the largest free-swinging bell in the world. The history behind the bell and the part it plays in Campbell County is just as interesting in the bell as the bell itself. The first World Peace Bell was created in 1952. It was given as a gift from Japan to the United Nations. Chiyoji Nakagawa, who first came up with the idea, was a Japanese soldier who fought in World War II. His experience in war made him dedicate the rest of his life to world peace. The first bell was created with metal that included coins that were donated by over 60 countries. Other countries liked this idea and created replicas of the original peace bell. In the mid-1990s, a group of business people, led by Wayne Carlisle, decided to bring a world peace bell to the greater Cincinnati area. In USA Today, Mike Lawrence wrote, "The locals from greater Cincinnati want to mark the millennium, create a national symbol for their region, and advertise their prosperity. Promote world peace." The bell would cost over $6 million to create and put up in Newport, Kentucky. Originally, the plan was to have the Verdun Bell Company, located in Cincinnati, make the bell. However, it was too large. So the Verdun Bell Company designed the bell and then worked with the Packard Bell Foundry in Nantes, France. The World Peace Bell made the front page of the Kentucky Post on Saturday, December 12, 1998, in an article called "The Bell is Cast, Bob Dryhouse Wood." The fiery orange bronze gushed from the 3 furnaces like water from fire hydrants. It was poured into 2 huge ladles and lofted 30 feet high. The bronze, heated to nearly 200 degrees Fahrenheit, flowed perfectly into the cast to create the Millennium Monument's World Peace Bell, the world's largest free-swinging bell at 66,000 pounds. The Newport World Peace Bell was actually made just a block away from where the Statue of Liberty was poured. After traveling on a ship from France to America, the first time the bell was shown to the public was on July 2, 1999 in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was transferred to a 4-deck paddle wheel boat and sailed up the Mississippi River to Newport, Kentucky. Along the way, the bell stopped in 14 different cities located in the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Kentucky. At every stop, there was a ceremony, and the bell was rung to celebrate world peace. It took 1 month for the bell to get to Campbell County. It was hung on a glass bell tower and swung for the first time on New Year's Eve, 1999. There are 2 ways to ring this World Peace Bell. Jack Moreland, the president of South Bank Partners and one of the original business leaders who planned the bell, described the 2 methods. He said, "We can actually swing the bell, or we can ring it with a hammer. Once the bell begins to swing, it takes about 30 seconds for it to ring for the first time. But then the momentum causes it to keep ringing for several minutes, even if we turn off the motor immediately after the first ring." The bell used to ring every day at noon, but is now only rung for special events or if requested. The building connected by a bridge to the bell tower is the World Peace Bell Museum. The walls inside the museum are decorated with the word peace in many different languages. Some of the languages are Chinese, Eskimo, Swahili, German, Spanish, and Portuguese. There are many different displays that talk about the history and the creation of the bell. The museum has many visitors' books signed by people who have visited the bell and have written down their thoughts on peace. The museum is surrounded by statues designed to remind visitors of peace in the world. There is an eternal flame engraved with the words, "World peace, our dream. Inner peace, our search. Neither is achieved nor valued without each other." This is a quote by W.P. Butler, a Kentucky politician in the mid-1800s. There is a memorial dedicated to the firefighters and paramedics of the New York City Fire Department who died on September 11, 2001. The memorial is engraved with the timeline of the events that took place that day. There is also a memorial to honor Chief Larry B. Atwell, who served the Newport Fire Department for 47 years. The museum is not currently open to the public. However, events are still held there, and it is now the offices for South Bank Partners, consultants who work with the cities in northern Kentucky. Joyce McMullen works for South Bank Partners, and her late husband, David McMullen, was involved in building the museum and even rode on the paddle wheel boat that brought the bell to Newport. Mrs. McMullen is happy to share her knowledge about the bell and its history. She has given talks to local schools and has provided tours of the museum and bell. The Newport World Peace Bell plays an important role in the local area. It is visited by many school groups and tourists. It's a popular place for veterans and military groups to hold reunions and ceremonies. Every 4 years, the Newport Police Department holds a 9/11 memorial service at the Bell Museum. Every year, the South Bank Partners holds free summer concerts there. In 2012, the World Choir Games were held at the World Peace Bell Center. This brought 362 choirs from 64 different countries, and a total of 15,000 participants to Newport. It was the largest international arts and culture event to be held in the history of the area. The Newport World Peace Bell is a monument to the ideas of freedom and peace. It's a physical reminder of the sacrifices that have been made for peace. It is also a historical attraction that brings people to Newport. Above all, it is a symbol of what is left to accomplish. As Wayne Carlyle said, the goal is that world peace will live fervently in the hearts and minds of future generations.
Hey, another beautiful presentation. All right. Okay, this is $5 free card Staples. There's a check in there. And
Yeah,
another
they
fee.
certainly make it easy. Thank you very, very much.
And
Great
when
job.
you were making applications to colleges and all, universities, you know, this is something you can brag about. Okay, good.
Okay. You know, these essay contests are so valuable. I talked to one woman, and she said her daughter worked her way through college writing essays for organizations all around the country. That's pretty incredible. I mean, that's a lot of essays, but that's incredible that somebody can do that. Anybody else have anything for this evening? Comments? Questions? No? Okay, then all I have is next month, we will be right here again, and we have Mr. Lee Height, who is on the board of directors of the Voice of America Museum, and he will talk about Voice of America and their reach to the immigrants to get them to come to this country, and a bit of the immigration story and so on and so forth. That should be an interesting one. If you haven't been to that Voice of America Museum, it's quite nice.
Where is that?
It is up in Mason, Ohio, at the Voice of America where the tower is and all. And then in November, as if we haven't talked about it enough, the Grants Lick celebration. Ken is going to come back and give us a recap on the celebration, and we're going to run through that slideshow and talk about the history of Grants Lick. Grants Lick used to be a really busy little area with lots and lots of businesses. Now it's a nice, quiet, rural area, but there was a time when 27 was really the main road from up north all the way down to Miami. Grants Lick was a hot spot. There were, what, two motels there?
14 businesses.
14 businesses. Okay, it was a hot spot. And now, not so much, but that's the way they like it. So, and then December, we'll be back here for our holiday social. So, that is all I have. Please come